President of Women of Love, Lady Ese Agassi, special guest speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm greeting from Kenya. It is a great pleasure for me to be invited as a guest of honor to this year's seminar with the theme Single Parenting and its Challenges. I believe my fellow speakers must have talked or will be talking on what single parenthood means and the many challenges associated with such status. Permit me to mention some of the challenges that are faced by single mothers. In order for us to understand the focus of this particular paper, which is time management for single mothers. In the course of preparing for this paper, I read many articles written by single parents or those who were raised by single parents. I have also witnessed the experiences of close friends who have become single parents. The list of the challenges faced by single parents on a daily basis is endless, but for the purpose of this paper, we shall examine a few of them and then suggest or propose a time management scheme that could help the single mothers live a normal life with minimal stress. Single parenthood. A single parent, as we all know, is a man or a woman who is saddled with the responsibility of raising a child or children alone. How do you become a single parent? This status is come about by the loss of a partner through death, irreconcilable differences in marriage leading to separation or divorce, and sometimes it could be a preferred option for some people, especially women. It is very important for us to note that at this point, the God who instituted marriage said at the onset of human existence that we are to multiply and replenish the earth. In other words, a relationship between a man and a woman. It is expected that there shall be increase in number through the birth of children. Indeed, in our cultural setting, such pronouncements or prayers are said for the two individuals coming together to begin a new life with the expectation for increase, which they should both nurture to adulthood. Sadly, such expectation does not come to realization for some people due to some of the reasons that have been mentioned above. Now, when you find yourself in this situation, how do you handle it? It is never a delightful or joyful situation for any parent to be single. However, when life changes through some of the circumstances aforementioned, you have to change your mindset in order to make it less tedious for you to go through life in the new position. As a single parent, it is very imperative for you to be very strong. It is equally vital that you are proud of yourself. There is nothing to be ashamed of being a single mom. Take up your new role with dignity and positivity. Be proud of yourself and be determined to make it work out well for you and your child or children. Remember, you are taking up a role meant for two people. Hence, the need for you to be strong for your children and also for yourself. Some challenges faced by single parents. As I have mentioned earlier, that we shall look at challenges faced by single mothers in order for us to know how they can manage their time efficiently. When you become a single parent, not only do you struggle emotionally to come to terms with your new situation, but equally you have to learn and plan for how to handle difficulties that come with parenting alone. These difficulties include the following. 1. How do I care for the children alone. If you were a stay-home mom or parent, the issue is, what do I do to make money to care for the children? Obviously, you have to seek employment, and if you get one, the question will now be, who takes care of the children while I work? Second, what choice do I make from among the different ways of solving this problem, like deciding for daycare, or to employ a babysitter, or to engage a nanny, or to keep the children in after-school care? Single mothers have to make several decisions daily. Third, a single mother must learn to get the children ready for school. You will make sure they are ready in good time so they don't get late to school. They must be picked up in time after school, dropped off at any of the options enumerated above, after school care center, at the nanny's place, or pick up your babysitter. The single parent has to make sure the children eat the appropriate food for proper nourishment, that they are well protected, that they are appropriately dressed so they don't fall sick. Fourth, single parents must learn how to balance work with domestic affairs fairly, such as seeing the GP for regular checks, of course depending on the age of the children, and of course taking them and getting involved in their extracurricular activities. And five, one of the major worries for single parents is also finance. Another major issue that brings guilt to the single parent is inadequate time to spend with the children, particularly when they are still very young. Yet another is the emotional stability of the children. These challenges bring lots of frustration to the single moms. Over the years, I have watched close friends, families, relatives struggle through life alone with the enormous responsibilities of caring for children alone, particularly the teenage children. It takes the strong to go it alone. Thus, every single parent should be proud of themselves. Time management for the single mothers. Time management is using time efficiently. In other words, doing things right and effectively, doing the right thing. In other words, it is the act of working smarter, not harder. In the book of Ecclesiastes, the preacher says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. He went on to say that there is time to plant and there is time to uproot. There is a time to tear down and there is a time to build up. Rick Warren, in his book, The Purpose-Driven Life, says, the way you see life shapes your life. Your perspective will influence how you invest your time, spend your money, use your talents, and value your relationship. How do you see life as a single mom? The time management matrix in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Covey of 1992, he draws up 4 quadrants. The first one is matters that are urgent and important. Then the second is important matters but not urgent. The third is urgent but not important. And the fourth quadrant is not urgent and not important. Becoming an effective time manager will mean you've got to organize and execute around balanced priorities and to say no to activities that fall within the last 2 quadrants. In other words, activities that are urgent but are not important, those that are not important and not urgent, you've got to learn to say no to such ones. Like I mentioned before, our focus in this paper is time management for the single parents. Dealing with children is a daunting responsibility for couples, let alone doing it alone. Every parent wants the best for their children, irrespective of your status. It is therefore imperative for the single parent to determine the driving force of his or her life. How do you see life as a single parent? If you've decided to go solo, then you consider the consequences of your choice with the responsibilities that accompany your decision. Your perspective to life influences how you invest or manage your time. The very first thing in managing time for the single parents is to acknowledge the owner of time itself, which is God. Rise up earlier than your children to talk to God, who is able to help you get through the day without so much stress. Use this quiet time to plan your day. Determine what is urgent and important and what is important but not urgent. Remember, effective people operate around balanced priorities. Draw up a to-do list and be disciplined to follow through. Set a realistic expectations and do not struggle to be a super parent so as to avoid burnout and frustration. Don't be frustrated if you could not accomplish all you set for the day. You will become perfect as time goes on. Children may go to school by the school bus where this is available. This will ensure parents do not start their day running through the early morning traffic. When the children are going to school by bus, the time you have before you leave for work could be used to do dinner halfway. When you return from work, it is easier to complete the evening meal without so much stress. It is equally not a bad idea where finance permits to let the older children in the family go to boarding school. Of course, this decision must be made in collaboration with your ex-partner where they are available.